sink than sink in the cum.
It's better to shit in the shower than to come in the sink.
You know that? Yeah, that's pretty true.
Hey, welcome back to Late Night with Big and Wow. I hope you enjoyed your fucking decade break from this show. I don't know when the actual first. Hold on, I can actually look it up just because this is a podcast.
Did we make you crave a second episode?
Yeah, I bet all you horny boys have been on the edge of your pink razor chair seats, just waiting.
You're nasty boy.
February 11th, 2022. That was when the first episode went up, and it is
cool. So it's been more than a year.
It's been a year and just over a year and 2 months.
Wow.
So welcome back. Yeah. We are back officially. 3 days in by the time you're seeing this, because you're seeing this on the Friday after we came back.
Yep.
And it's we're still currently, as of filming this, we're still currently in the getting ready to come back process. We have not come back yet for us. But it's been fun. We've been in the last like week or so, we've been grinding the shit out of this channel.
Yep.
But it's been fun, and we've been able to explore. I've had a lot of revelations with the games I like to play on this show particularly, and I know that when it comes to YouTube content, BigWowBig is where gaming for me is going to remain. I don't generally prefer to do gaming content on my channel. My channel's I'm trying to reserve my channel more for the live action ideas I have, like my interview show that I have another episode of coming up soon that I'm going to film with my guest. And I have some game show ideas, but I haven't really fucked around with them that much. But yeah, welcome back to Late Night with Big and Wow. I also don't even know.
Welcome back.
We haven't even talked about. I guess we should upload this in the evening. These episodes, because that would.
It is late night.
That would what's the word? Canonically make sense.
Yeah, it only
it's like, a late night podcast.
In the lore.
You guys heard that smooth ass intro? This is a late night podcast. This is that shit you listen to before you go to bed.
You're listening to,
and then we'll be in your dreams,
Wow.
And you'll be like, "Hello, Mia and Emmy from BigWowBig. It is so nice to see you in my dreams."
I dream that I go on magical adventures with the hosts of BigWowBig and we play video games together.
I will say something I've come to accept that I need to work harder on is remembering that my Adderall exists, because
yeah,
Adderall is something that helps me deeply as a person with many more issues than just ADHD, but also ADHD. And Adderall has been super helpful. I actually just got my dosage upped recently by my doctor. I literally just picked up my higher dosage prescription today. And what am I trying to say? I need to remember that I have it when I'm like going throughout my day. It's usually like I always I'm famous in friend circles for like being like, yeah, I love like getting up at like 6 a.m. and doing shit until like noon, and then I'm tired and pissy for the rest of the day. And that's because I forget that Adderall exists, so I don't take it after like noon. And then
do you take it multiple times a day?
I am supposed to. That's what I'm saying. I only take it like the one time when I wake up with all my morning medicines, and then I forget it exists. But I want to start every time I take an Adderall. I want to start setting a reminder. I did that today. I'm on my second one. I had my 10 milligram prescription this morning that I took when I woke up, but around 1 p.m. it wore off, so I took my new prescription when I got it. I was up from 10 to 20, so now I'm on the 20s, just like the world.
You gave your brain a little taste of it with the 10, and then the 20s came in and were like, pow!
Yeah, the 20s were like roaring 20s.
20, 20, 20, 20 vision. Keep it hit me with precision.
I would sing a song I like, about the Roaring 20s, but it's by a band that is not preferable to be mentioned anywhere. Even though I hate that I love so much of their music, but I don't like go out of my way to listen to it. It just sucks. Yeah, band who should not be named was was a big hit for me in 2020 when I was also friends with a guy who shall not be named, believe it or not. Anybody who's listening who's in our friend circle, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I when we were friends, he showed me a lot more of them than I had listened to before, and then I just started finding my own shit, and I got really hooked. But for now, I mean, like, I've been my music has been always been very widespread, my taste, but now it's just like whatever. I'll throw whatever the fuck in a playlist. It doesn't even it is not even have to be remotely the same genre. Like I've got the equivalent to metal, hip hop, rap.
What metal do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of different metal. Metal was what I was raised on. That's what I listened to as a kid. I listen to one song by Metallica. I do not listen to Metallica. I wouldn't even say I
don't listen to them either.
Master of Puppets is the only song I've ever heard that I wanted to keep listening to from them. But I really fucking like that song. I mean the metal bands I grew up on, I listen to a lot more like punk metal now, but I used to like, I grew up on shit like Breaking Benjamin, Avenged Sevenfold, System of a Down, fucking Disturbed, and some others. I grew up on Nickelback, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's that's like the dad rock. Or not, that's not dad rock. That's like
no, Nickelback has a lot of funky hits. It's just like they're very easy to point and laugh at band.
I feel like there's a big difference between dad rock, the classic genre, and divorced dad rock, which is like Nickelback.
Oh boy. Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth?
Somebody once told me the world was gonna want me. I ain't the sharpest ogre in the swamp.
Yeah, needless to say, I don't listen to Smash Mouth, but now it's like it went from and believe me, I still listen to most of those bands from childhood. I mean, especially Avenged Sevenfold's like top 3 bands of all time for me, or at least top 5 when it comes to like rock, for sure. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard for me to like have a top 5 of all time. That would be something I'd have to like think about and list out and pick different qualities based on what I like about them. But now I listen to a lot of like, I can actually pull up my playlist while we're in here, because I have quite a few playlists.
Pull it up. Get it going.
Oh, I listen to, yeah, that's right. My friend Sam, who some of you have seen in my content before, maybe if you watch Cosmic Emerald, which you should.
You should.
Sam showed me the band Beartooth, who I really like. I really fuck with Beartooth. Get Scared is a band I found on my own. Falling in Reverse is a band I listened to, and on the I'm Not a Vampire radio I made on Spotify, I found a Get Scared song, and then I listened to more of their stuff. I have had trouble finding a Get Scared song I didn't like. I fucking love that band. And I found Get Scared only like a year ago. I really only started listening to them like a year ago, but they were in my top 5 bands last year on Spotify. They were in my top 5 artists. Like,
if you love them so much, why don't you marry them?
Hey, do you love my foot? Because I can marry it up your ass. I was gonna also mention Hollywood Undead. Not like a weird like mix of like metal and hip hop. Fucking love Hollywood Undead. Yeah, Falling in Reverse, like I said. I do like the song Daywalker, which is MGK and Corpse. I like a few MGK songs, but I don't really. I wouldn't say like I listen to MGK. I've never really listened to like MGK regularly. I just like
Machine Gun Kelly is just a weird guy in general. Yeah, I don't fuck with him.
Yeah,
he has a tendency of like he'll get into a new genre and then he'll act like he's the best in that genre for like a month. He'll start a beef with somebody and then he'll dip. And he's done that in rock. He's done that in rap. He's done that all over the goddamn place. He'll show up, declare himself king, try to start a fight, and then run. What movie? What are you talking about?
He did a single for a movie called Taurus.
Taurus?
Never heard of? From the motion picture Taurus, like the star sign, I think.
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
I don't know what that is. I just went to his page and saw it. But Beartooth, Get Scared, and Falling in Reverse were huge hits for me last year. I actually found Falling in Reverse through a TikTok of somebody doing the guitar solo from I'm Not a Vampire. And I was just like drawn in immediately. I also, as a kid, I just realized I saw another guitar solo video recently on TikTok. And I just realized that I forgot to mention this band from childhood, but I listened to a lot of Papa Roach also. I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid, and from like 2007 to 8, WWE Monday Night Raw's theme song was "To Be Loved" by Papa Roach, and I fucking love that song.
I remember like playing a Papa Roach song on like Band Hero or whatever. I can't remember what song it was. I don't have a great memory of like, I know I've heard Papa Roach, but I can't accredit any song to Papa Roach at this moment.
Well, Papa Roach is the cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. That's Papa Roach. No feeding. Don't give a fuck if I sodomize while beating. I don't know. I couldn't remember the real words.
Here and there.
I was also gonna say another good band, which on Cosmic Emmy Music on YouTube, I just made my own custom cut of this song. But a Match into Water by Pierce the Veil. Never heard any other Pierce the Veil, I'll be honest. But I really like A Match into Water, and I just made a cut based on my own interpretation of what I think could have been cool about that song. The original's dope, though. I would definitely listen to the original if you haven't. But you should also check out my cut, because if you listen to the original and then my cut, it's pretty cool. I took a part of the song and made it a custom intro by lining up the instrumentals, and it sounds incredibly seamless.
You'll realize
which is also
better.
Which is also a really niche talent I have that Mia knows about. I can basically formulate any song, whether it's a live performance or a digital song, to fit any scheme of orientation that I want, because I will find a way to make the song seamlessly be reoriented. I've done it with many things. There's like 6 Super Bowl halftime shows that I really love, and I've done it with those because apparently NFL crowd sounds with no music sound exactly the same no matter where you put them. Like, you can just cut from one audience clip to the next and just transition from song to song. It works.
Sheeple.
I'm trying to... Oh, I fucking love 3 Days Grace. I forgot about them.
What the hell is 3 Days Grace?
Oh, I'm so sorry. 3 Days Grace is a Canadian metal band. They are fucking awesome. They have really famous songs such as Riot and Animal I Have Become, but they also have a lot of fucking good hits that even like my dad, who's a metalhead, hadn't heard of, that I showed him last year, and they're just so... 3 Days Grace is such a fucking awesome band. I fucking love them. I also will say, hey, phone, shut the fuck up. I also will say, yeah, my two big hits. I mean, I'm gonna say My Chemical Romance, and that's it. I listen to them, obviously. My 2 most recent Falling in Reverse hits, I wanted to say, I added these to my playlists, I think at the end of last year. I don't remember. I just remember the newer one, which is Watch the World Burn. I was just in call doing some homework with my friend Sam that I mentioned before, and she was like, have you heard their new single? And I was like, no. And then she played it, and I was just like listening the whole time, and I was just like, yeah, they don't miss. And then now I just when I joined the Discord call with Mia, actually I rapped the really fast part from it. That was from that. And then the second one I've been listening to a lot is Voices in My Head, which I just, when I went through a super
I too listened to the Voices in My Head.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I may or may not get too in detail with this on this podcast, but I went through the darkest depression of my life last year around this time. I kind of started picking back up around this time, picking up steam again as a person from like January to April 2022. I was in the worst condition I've ever been in. I was doing things like just like trigger warning. I was having just like mad suicidal thoughts. I was self-harming. It was really fucking bad, but I was able to identify with music like that, so it kind of kept me going through for a while. Yeah. And I really hated making anybody... I wasn't out as trans back then. I was really depressed. I felt really transphobiaed in my home. I felt like my life was going nowhere, and thankfully I was able to turn around turned it around pretty swiftly in a matter of a year, and now I'm doing the best have ever been. So if I had a message for any of you, it would be the same sentiment of it'll get better, but like it will get better. Like if you think it won't get better, you just need to wait, and you need to be patient, and you need to wait it out, because you will find the thing that will get you through, and then you will find the thing that will turn it around. I never ever thought that I was going to go back to school. I dropped out of college in 2020, and I went late. I didn't go right after high school. I actually the first time I went to college was to escape the job I was at. I was working full time, but it was a fucking nightmare. And long story short, I dropped out of that school in 2020 after going for like a year and a half, but I only got my freshman year credits actually done. And I decided to suck it up and turn my life around last year, and decided I was going to go to a different, bigger school that my sister graduated from that she loves.
A bigger school.
Oh, big anniversary. I guess that would be our anniversary. Which, by the way, side note, happy 2 years, BigWowBig. 2 fucking years.
Technically now it is now over 2 years since we first decided to do the channel. And then we're like a day before the actual anniversary.
We DM'd and recording this, we're a day before the anniversary, but obviously it has already happened for you. We had a month worth of DMs and work and graphics and filming before we actually launched, because duh. And you know what's funny? I have a screenshot that I've been saving. That is the first time we called overnight, which is funny because this is at 4 a.m. I didn't even realize how late this was.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. I'm drinking Diet Coke, which is such a good idea.
I'm drinking iced coffee.
Nice. I would have had coffee, but I just didn't want a hot drink right now. I really couldn't do it. But
that's why I made it iced.
Oh wow. Get a load on this guy, chat. Oh, look at this guy.
Check it out, this guy. You get the Coke. I get the boy.
The first time we initiated anything that would lead to BigWowBig was March 19th, 2021, which is hilarious because it's so far out. I wasn't even out as trans the first time I came out back then. That was before that even. Because I came out in the beginning of April 2021 as Ashley. Some of you might remember. I went by Ashley. And then in December, I kind of defeatedly crawled back into the closet for a while and kind of just identified as gender fluid, so I didn't have to deal with the trans identity. But it took until October of last year for me to realize that sucked and I hated it.
I think it was also around October, but it would have been around 2020. That I came out as trans, and I'm pretty sure at that time you weren't the first person. You were the first person of everybody that I keep up with now, and everybody within this sort of social circle. You're the first person that I informed of that. Mm-hmm. Before I came out to everybody else. First person would be my friend Dan, who's also trans. They were the first person that I talked to about that when I was like, I don't know. Because I needed that guidance. But then I think you were the first person that I ended up telling.
Yeah, I remember. I was not that I'm smart now, but I was much more naive then when it came to gender or anything. I kind of fucked around with it a little bit when you came out, but not gender. I just was huge. At the end of 2020, I lived with my sister I don't live with now, the other one, and they allowed me to open myself up a lot more. I started shaving different parts of my body that I never shaved because I grew out my hair. I didn't give a fuck. I shaved my legs for the first time, bought my first piece of women's clothing, wore my first pair of leggings, and that was when it kind of started really rolling. But I wanted to
That's
try.
When I was like, oh no.
That's when I was like, it's time to go sicko mode. I kept hitting home in our DMs. I found the beginning.
Hey.
May 19th, 2020 was our first communication ever, in case you're wondering.
Yep. And that would have been the day that...
Which is almost 3 years ago.
On that day, you were streaming Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yep.
And I popped into your chat. And
Hey, as a demo of the kind of editing work I do, I edited down your stream of Bendy Chapter 2 into a highlight.
Yep.
And I watched it and was like, you know what's funny? Not that I was like a dick, but I'm really impressed that the first thing I thought to ask was what pronouns I could call you by, because I just didn't think of shit like that back then. But I did. I said my first message back to you after I watched the edit was, first of all, what pronouns may I call you by? Just want to be respectful, of course. Second, I wasn't expecting this at all, and just want to thank you in general for taking the time to edit my stream into a video, because that means a ton to me. I was a really happy-go-lucky guy until I realized I wasn't, and I wanted to die.
Realized you were a sad-go-unlucky girl.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know if I ever talked about just how severe my 2022 was medically. Like, my shit got rocked, y'all. Like, you don't even know. I went from 2021 to my only issues being, like, gender dysphoria, undiagnosed, to a smorgasbord of issues that I have several medications to treat regularly. And then we started talking about, like, fucking,
Started talking about fucking.
No, that was 2021.
Yeah, that was later.
Yeah, no, I'm still just scrolling. We just kept talking about, like, what I want to do with the VODs. It is just dead name central in this chat. It's disgusting. Holy shit. There's my login. That is not correct anymore. Yeah.
You know what is like a funny thing to think about now is that around the time of the start of BigWowBig, we did make a lot more innuendos towards each other, not with each other, but towards each other. It'd be like, you shut up before I kiss you. We had a lot more kissing.
I miss when we used to kiss before the big happening happened.
Why do you never look at me during?
You never look at me when I cook your coffee anymore.
Cooking coffee. Jesse,
if you want to know if I meant to say it like that, I didn't.
It is. I think it's very, very cool how with that being like May 19th being the first time that we like talked, and we got into communication with that. We didn't like. I think we've talked about it before, and we have to have talked about it on several occasions. But like we didn't really like have in like aside from that working like editor streamer relationship, we really didn't talk until like later 2020.
Oh yeah,
when we actually like started like hanging out as people.
Yeah, we had casual chit chat here and
I'm
there.
pretty sure most of what we had up until we started actually like doing things together. I can't remember what would have been the first thing that we would have actually done together.
We just kept sucking each other's dicks in these DMs.
It was very it was very like business, like formal kind of like not really any personal connection to that, but it was just like, I got this edit. Here's the edit, you know? And then over the span of a few months after that, you became my ride or die.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna do a show with this bitch.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. It's like nothing. Just kidding. I started DMing Boomer.
I think it's a good thing of around it would have been around the time of Zoom SMP that we first started talking about doing BigWowBig. And
I remember there were jokes about it here and there before we actually talked about really doing it. Yeah,
you did. Like we would be talking and hanging out on like Zoom SMP, and you'd be like, yeah, I want to do like this Let's Play show. You know, I've always wanted to do this kind of Let's Play show. And then I was like, maybe me. And then that sort of like riffing went on for like a couple months after that. I sent you a message. It was like, hey, you want to like actually do that?
Yeah.
And then you messaged and was like, hey, you want to actually do that?
We didn't even have we started filming for the show before we had a name for it. Our first Sonic Generations session, which was the first thing we did, was was just on a whim in the middle of the night. We didn't have a name for the show yet.
I don't think we even made the channel yet.
No, we didn't. We didn't make the channel for a while. We filmed a couple sessions without it. I don't know if I mean, like, all these names I've come up with, I came up with on a whim. BigWowBig's inspiration was that I was like, I want it to be catchy, but I want it to be something really simple that people can remember. And BigWowBig and the initials BWB in general was perfect in my opinion. I just happened to come up with it also.
True. It works great. That was all your creative genius.
I'm good at coming up with names. I also came up with the name of this podcast. I also came up with Cosmic Emerald and Milk is Superior. I'm good at coming up with usernames, apparently.
Coming up with names.
I also came up with Getting to Know. I just thought that was a good title format. Getting to Know episode marked by who I'm getting to know in the episode.
And if any of you have wondered of like if you look at something on the BigWowBig channel and you're like, oh, I wonder whose creative decision this was. I wonder whose decision this was. Most things that are like the branding of like BigWowBig is mostly like to the a credit of one Emmy.
Yeah,
like the name, most design things has all been you, and I'm very much okay with letting you be like the creative force on like a lot of that, letting you have the creative control over much of that, because when it comes to my own content, I'm much more of a control freak, and everything's very like fucking like sanitary, like clean room environment. Got like the like dust shields, oh
yeah.
And so having BigWowBig is a nice way for me to take a step back and be like, I should let somebody else take the wheel.
Yeah, and I mean, I get into the groove, and then I'm unstoppable. Like the graphics we have on the channel as of recording this, which I'd like to change before tomorrow, to be perfectly honest.
Get it updated.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it after we film this, but
it'll just be a picture of our ball sacks. It's fine.
Actually, both of ours, and then our profile picture will just be Markiplier in a hospiel bed.
I made our Twitter banner.
I made that our Twitter banner the other day, and I was like, Mia, have you seen our Twitter banner?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny. It just is like, it's the like hello everybody dies meme, but it just looks so sad because it's just him in the hospital bed. It's like the lowest quality shit. But
it's really funny whenever I open Twitter, like in the morning, and I go to like my notifications feed, and I have like tweet notifications on for BigWowBig. If I ever like just open Twitter and I see a tweet notification from BigWowBig, I'm like, oh God, what did I say? What is this that is representative of us?
That I usually am the one who fucks with it. Like I
think I'm just gonna start shit posting on that Twitter.
That's what I was kind of trying to do. I went. Mia did the Twitter crush thing, and it was me, and I quote retweeted it on the BigWowBig account and said, "Okay, Gaylord," and with the middle finger emoji.
I think that BigWowBig Twitter is like the perfect vehicle to have like where it's like a character almost.
Yeah.
Like this like third character between us.
BigWowBig is kind of its own entity.
It's like we can have our Twitter interactions, we can have our conversations, and then like the BigWow, and then I could be messaging you or like having a reply thread with you on Twitter, and then you can respond with like the BigWowBig Twitter, and it's like, oh, a third person has appeared.
Right. New challenge.
Even though it's still you. It's just like a different persona.
No, I've literally I've done like whole entire conversations between me and the BigWowBig account before, I think.
Yeah.
Like I'll tweet some shit and then I'll go in and I'll log into BigWowBig and reply to it, and then I'll log back into my account and reply to it, and then I'll finish it on the BigWowBig, and then I'm done. I've done a lot of things like that. Also, what's funny is that we created our Twitter on April 7th, 2021, and I know that because Twitter gave us the anniversary tweet on that day.
Oh.
So we did we must have created all those accounts around like the 7th. which would have been I'm certain on God that our first session was the night of April 3rd, I believe. Either that or that's the day I came out as trans back then. And I'm thinking of that, but I'm pretty sure.
If we look
that
at the recordings of whatever we did on that first night,
is that stuff still in the drive though?
I think I still have Sonic. Like I need to get a new drive.
I think I have some Sonic, maybe.
I haven't even kept like a lot of BigWowBig stuff. I had to go and delete a lot of it, like just like footage that I didn't actually need anymore.
Yeah, I got rid of a bunch of shit too.
I've almost completely filled up this 4 terabyte drive. God, my stomach is, I hope you can't hear it on the mic, but my stomach is turning this morning.
Oh, my stomach's in a fit too, actually. I told you a little bit before. I told me a little bit about it before the podcast, but I have this, my multiple sclerosis requires a really powerful and expensive medicine that is shot into my leg. A self-inflicted shot into my leg once.
It's actually a little tiny Superman.
Once a month. It's this injection I inject in my own leg once a month because I'm not very succumbed to needles. I'm not sensitive to them. So I jam my leg, it finishes injecting, and then I pull it out and I put a little Band-Aid over it. And that medicine is not good to take if you're on an empty stomach, and our house is jack shit empty right now.
Do they give you like a lollipop with your injection?
I don't know who they is, but I don't.
The doctor.
Give me a lollipop.
You don't get, you get like a sucker or whatever. Go to the doctor, get your shots, and it's like you have a Band-Aid, have a sucker.
I don't go to the. Usually when I go to the doctor, it's like, let's check your brain disease and make sure it's not killing you.
Let's crack your head open and give you a cure.
Okay, Billy, your elbow's definitely fine. Here, you can have a lollipop.
My stomach is in turmoil this morning for a specific reason. I may have last night after recording all the stuff for the BigWowBig comeback, which I hope that I can get that edited today because it's just being a pain in Premiere. But after recording all that, I may have taken some hits from the funny pen, and I got high last night. And yeah,
and I ate my table.
I got high and I was just watching woodworking videos for the most part. But then at one point I was like, soup. Yes, very, very good soup. And then I ate way too much soup and I fruited up. And then I had a panic attack. And now here I am. That was at like 2 a.m. and and then I woke up at like 9 a.m. I slept great, by the way.
I didn't do that. My night was filled with just a lot of loads of bullshit. Also, I am looking at our videos in popularity order, which
really is the best definition of quality.
It doesn't take a nuclear physicist to figure out that Mickey Mouse is our most popular series. But I was gonna say our most popular episode of Wind Waker is called the Foreskin Fortress, which is pretty fucking interesting.
Oh yeah, because that's where we go to the Forsaken Fortress.
I was gonna say though, our most popular Resident Evil episode is part 16, which is called Ash's Sex Talk, and I don't know what that is, but apparently it's our most popular one.
I would have no memory of that.
I don't know what the sex talk is.
I think you would have been the one to come up with the title for it.
Yeah, I don't know if we did that back then.
I think
maybe.
we were.
I think we implemented that when we came back.
Maybe. Maybe in part. You know what? We have timesheets though that we could just go look at.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go look at the goddamn timesheet. I'm just gonna figure it out.
Do it.
Why am I looking at active series for that? That's very dead. It's very completed. Resident Evil Village.
Oh, I need to mark off I have a to-do list whiteboard, and I completed some stuff. I'm gonna mark it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was written by you.
Well, there you go.
I think. Yeah, that's your notebook. That's your handwriting.
Oh yeah, we used to do timesheets on paper and then take pictures of them.
Good old Papier.
I don't know how we did that.
I mean, I just kind of I do my timesheets now in Notepad because it's very easy to just drag the text document in instead of like we had an old Google Doc thing that like
I made a spreadsheet. It was a spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet for
the spreadsheet would have been fantastic if it worked well.
It was just like too complex for what we needed.
It just wasn't very functionally great in Google Docs.
Yeah, well, it was Google spreadsheet, but the difference is that like Notepad is just like you can breathe around the times and you can like see clearly which episode is which, and it's not like tiny text in a big grid. Because there were like a ton of columns to go in each row for each episode to be like for like episode notes or like, and now what I do is I just put like a bullet point that's episode 1. I put the time next to it. I write a title next to episode 1 when I think of it, if I do, and then under it I'll write any notes that I need to write.
You also can just straight up using the share button, you can share notes from your phone like Notepad to a Google Drive. And so I do that for like some of ours if I'm like not sitting at my desk like now. Like the Super Auto Pets the other day, I just took the timesheet on my phone and I could just put that sheet straight into the Google Drive from the Notes app. It's luxury. Yeah. Life a luxury.
I'm always here. So I always do my second screen routine when I'm recording or not recording.
Always come back. Should we do like a full FNAF series, like every FNAF game in order?
That would be pretty weird at this point.
I am wondering at this point, now that we're like only a couple weeks out from it, if we are going to end up doing Tears of the Kingdom, because we could actually, since we have much less of a stockpile now than we once anticipated, it would be going out like pretty close to the actual launch of the game.
I mean, do you have it?
I plan to get it. My biggest decision factor of it is whether or not, because I want to get, I'm going to get the 2 game vouchers, because Nintendo, it's a dumb system, but at the same time, it works great for what I need.
I know about it.
So for 100, you get 2 vouchers for 2 games. So I'm going to use first voucher for Breath of the Wild, second voucher for Tears of the Kingdom, and then I'm just going to cram through Breath of the Wild on stream before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. Or I could also do that on BigWowBig, but then you might get probably tired of Zelda at that point.
I'm already tired of Zelda.
If we do it on BigWowBig, Tears of the Kingdom, then I'll be doing like I'll have a stream profile and I'll have a BigWowBig profile.
You know what's funny? Also, actually, that reminds me of new Pokemon Snap. I bought that so we could play it like right after it came out, and I'm glad that we did. But that was a really interesting choice by me. That was really interesting.
Yeah, Pokemon Snap.
That is the only game I have bought brand new specifically to play on this show. That is the only game I've ever done that for.
What games have I bought specifically for this show, I wonder? I bought Resident Evil Village. I bought Wheel of Fortune on the Switch.
I don't know. I did not buy Mickey Mouse for this show. I bought Mickey Mouse at a con when I was like 17 in like South Carolina.
Did I buy any other games for this show?
Fun fact, I was a YouTuber panelist at that same con because of how little it was.
Little tiny convention for little babies.
I still have my badge for it. I have a panelist badge for the con.
Oh, you know Super Mario Party, I think I bought for BigWowBig.
Oh, yeah.
So Super Mario Party, Resident Evil Village, and what was the other one that I said? Wheel of Fortune. I think I've spent in total like $150 on games for this show.
I've spent 60 because I bought the one.
It's quickly going to turn into $250 for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild.
Uh-huh. I really need to find some kind of big series. Well, not like big, but like some kind of series of game from beginning to completion for my end, because I don't think I've mentioned this on the actual show yet, according to our upload schedule, but I canceled 2 series that I was going to do because I do not care for those games past the points that we filmed, just because I realized that I do not prefer to film very intensive hunting for the solution games, especially when it comes to 3D open worlds.
Yes.
Do not care for them past a certain point. That's why
You just
Wind Waker
get
didn't last very
bored.
long. I do. I get very bored. It's why I can play like a game for Super Auto Pets and record it for like 6 hours, because it's the same stupid shit over and over, but like every so often you get a fucking awesome hand and then it goes crazy.
See, that's why I'm really not sure about doing Tears of the Kingdom Let's Play, because I don't know if we've mentioned it on the show, but so Resident Evil 8 was one of my favorite series to do, just in terms of I really liked the game and I had fun playing it, I had fun recording it. The same could not be said. Like, the Resident Evil 8 playthrough is like the best thing I could equate it to is the Ted Nivison, Eddie Burback Rainforest Cafe video, where Ted is just completely in love with the Rainforest Cafe. He's having a great time on this epic journey, and Eddie Burback's like,
It has been 10 years since the start of the war. I do not know how much longer I shall last.
Yeah.
so I don't want to like a series like that. Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be so goddamn long and like big and empty, and I worry about driving you mad.
It is a lot easier to sit through shit like that when I'm not the one playing it, but also, yeah, it's like Resident Evil was so dark and gritty, and where I was at in my life when we were filming it, it made me tired every time we filmed it. I don't know. The thing about Tears of the Kingdom is I just really don't fucking care about it. Like, I don't care about the game. I'm not like excited for it or anything.
Oh, really?
Not really.
I thought you were big into Breath of the Wild.
I like Breath of the Wild as an idea. I'm not super, super keen on the actual game because I have not gotten past watching anybody play it too far, nor have I played it too far. I'm just a simpler game kind of person. My brain likes simpler games that are not like always as simple as like Solitaire, but like games that have a very like clear, obvious objective, and then I do it, and then I go into a different thing and do that objective.
You are very much the type that when you're old and you're in the retirement home, you're going to be down in the social center every day playing card games. Just like the most basic of like, let's play Gin Rummy.
I like something that can satisfy my need to build skill, but also reject my ADHD's tendency to get bored.
Yeah.
And, games like that do it, apparently.
Just the stimulation.
Yeah. I do super fuck with games like that. I've just been trying to think of more stuff like that, or like stuff that is like that, but more extended. Like games with a story that you play from beginning to end, but that are like that. Like Sonic Mania is kind of when I was dancing around.
Oh, really?
I have the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. I honestly really want to play Sunshine and Galaxy on the show.
Do you have Sonic Mania?
I do.
I have it as well, and I've been considering it.
I enjoy it.
I still haven't played it ever, but I have it.
Yeah, it's fun. I do like to be the Sonic person. I do enjoy that. Especially for the shitty 3D ones. And in that case, almost it would be more interesting if we started Sonic Forces sooner. Problem with Sonic Forces is that it is on my Xbox, which I don't have in a place that I don't have it in a place where I could play it for this show right now. And I don't have a place in my heart to want to set it up. So that is where I'm at with that. Although I might, just because I have a couple other, when we played Resident Evil 2 for the show that didn't end up getting uploaded, that was also an Xbox game. And games like that I do enjoy sometimes, but it's the focusing thing. I can't make good commentary when it's the commentary thing. Like, our show is just really shitty and boring, and me is the only one talking when I'm the one playing games like that. It doesn't work. It's bad. And
yeah, it's not the good location of your brain.
I've only realized like when we play games together, it's got to be something where we're not trying to like basically just like a competitive little game that starts and ends and then you start another round of it. Not like we played like a Kirby Game Boy game or some shit recently, or one of the Super Nintendo.
It was Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo.
We played that, and thankfully you won't have to see it, but it was just like the most dry episode from my end. I was just like trying to figure out the controls. I was confused. I didn't feel like I couldn't bring myself to make words the whole time. It's just I don't want to. I care about BigWowBig. I don't want the content to be shitty, and I also don't want Mia to have to sit through insufferable episodes where I can't bring myself to say anything. I honestly thought I would be a lot worse off for this podcast, but
Yeah, you've been the one carrying like most of this podcast. You've had a lot to say.
But that is because I took a 20 milligram Adderall right before it, so I'm glad I took that.
It's always been like something I hear from other content creator friends and like from you, from other friends. Something like whenever I try to give like advice, because I do a lot of solo content and a lot of solo streams, and my streams are very little silence. I'm talking almost the entire time, and I just like I constantly have something to say, even if it's not really of value. I do have like words formulating, right? And that's always been just natural to me. But then I hear from you and from other content creators like, how do you just say words? And I'm like, you just say them. There's just constantly words spilling out. And so that's like a unfamiliar concept to me of just like not having something to say.
Yeah. For me, it's like I can find something to say, but I have to be in this mode, and I can tell when I'm not in that mode.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm too busy in thought to like take myself out of it, but I can tell the difference. I just have a certain zone that I get locked into that I'm like completely out of it, and there's no going back. And then it's like it happens at like a certain hour a day. It happens when my Adderall runs out. It's just certain factors. But also games like that do it the same way. They target my brain. They take too much control of my brain, and then I can't commentate. I forget that we're like doing a show. I'm just trying to focus. Like Super Auto Pets is a game that takes some strategy, but it's also really fucking stupid and little, and I can commentate over it. It's games
great.
like that. Like I could do 100 episodes of Solitaire Sudoku and Super Auto Pets individually, and it would be amazing content because my commentary would be way better, and Mia can just make commentary over anything.
I just got babble brain.
That's the kind of shit I can do. I have another game that I've been wanting to play, Bloons Adventure Time Tower Defense, but I just haven't gotten a chance to start that on the channel yet, and I probably won't for a while because we're doing Super Auto Pets, and I want to get something else started, somewhat of a more serious series like I was talking about, but I haven't nailed down what that's gonna be yet. But I'm thinking about it, and I have a few things across my PS4 and Xbox that aren't hooked up that I could look at, but I just haven't had time to like think about that kind of shit. We were just filming whatever we wanted to film that we had access to. I'm busy outside of the show, believe it or not. I have a life. I do other shit.
What? No way.
I can't, like, I'm in college. I take care of the house I'm in and the dog that lives in it most of the time when I'm here. I'm here alone most days, which will change soon. But yeah, like I'm fucking busy. Like, we've been grinding all this shit out during finals week. Like this, like
Yeah.
I just the episode, the day you're hearing this episode, I just took my second to last final yesterday, and I still have another one. You know, I've been keeping that in the back of my brain, but I haven't put it at the forefront enough. But I've also been trying to make up for the stockpile of episodes I shit out that were bad, and then I wanted to nuke them because they just were not good. And I'm happy that we're not uploading them. I am, but I've been trying to fill in for those. I've been trying to fill in for those, but also kind of just experiment with what I like to play on the show, where my bar is. And so I've been able to figure out a few things. I still have a few things I want to try, but we will see. I would like to start trying stuff with the mindset that I'm trying it so that we can upload whatever. But if we ever do a game where I'm playing it, it's like 3 episodes and then we stop playing it. If you're watching BigWowBig with your friend and they want to know why that happens, pull them up to about like 54 minutes into this podcast.
What if we just did? This is just like an idea off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to just like give like a sampler of a game that like you don't know if you want to like fully commit into it, and it's gonna be a longer game.
About that.
What if we just had like we just have a segment that's just like on whatever day it'll just be like a couple episodes of a longer series with no expectation of actually finishing it. It'll just be Big Wow Bites.
That could be something. The idea I had for it was we could upload games that we will not finish on the channel on the Patreon.
Oh, true.
We could make it Patreon bonus content episodes that didn't make it to air. Also, you should subscribe to our Patreon because according to Mia, there's stuff there that you would want. I have not at all yesterday. I have actually not seen the Patreon at all, so I don't know.
The current Patreon, all the pricing is still the same. We have the 3 tiers. First tier just gives you access to. Let me actually go double check this shit.
I also want to throw in as a side note. I forgot about this, but Mario Maker 2 is another one I like to jam on sometimes.
Mario Maker. That's another game that. Did I get that for Big Wow Big?
I
don't think I got it for Big Wow Big, but I did.
Well, you never played it on the show, so I don't know why you would have.
No. But yeah, we have our 3 tiers and our membership benefits. First tier, $3 a month. You get Patreon exclusive live streams. $10 tier, you get compilations and best ofs early. And then we have the fuck it tier, which is $75, which is that you just get to decide like what we make a video doing. And that's what you get all the previous benefits, and you can be like, I want you to play Skyward Sword.
I did. I'll be honest. That is a Zelda game I would play on the show. That's like one of the only ones, but I would. Just because it's Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword. I have my working theory that because I don't know if you've kept up with any of the trailers and stuff, or any of the theories surrounding the new Tears of the Kingdom.
Not at all.
So the way that my thought process works with this is Metroid Prime 4 was supposed to release like a couple years ago, and the Metroid Prime remake of Metroid Prime 1 that just got released recently.
Right.
Even though it's been finished for a couple years, because they planned to release the Metroid Prime remake at the time that they dropped Metroid Prime 4 as like a little like promotional thing just to get people get their taste buds wet.
Right.
And so my thought process of why they remastered Skyward Sword and brought it up to the Switch is because it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is going to be like heavily ingrained with the lore of Skyward Sword. There's like a lot that looks like it'll be connected. And so my thought process on that is like it's the same sort of strategy. You remaster the game that it's connected to get people's taste buds salivating and to get people familiar when the new one comes out.
Wow.
That's my theory.
I haven't seen anything, so that's cool.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
I'm not anticipating any games currently. I'm anticipating a couple music things that are coming out soon, but I've been busy, so I haven't thought about it. I haven't thought about what I'm looking forward to besides being done with the shit I'm doing, I guess, because it's all really important shit, and I'm doing well in it. But I want to see like my final grades in it so that I can enjoy those and take a break.
Yeah, get some goddamn rest. There was a game that I was looking forward to called Dredge, and then that has actually come out now, and I think it's very good. I wasn't very satisfied with the ending. I think it's just an okay ending on a pretty good game, but I was very excited about that for like a couple months until it actually released.
Well, I think we have a good podcast, so how about we make an okay ending to it?
How about I bring an okay ending to your life?
All right. Well, thank you for listening to / watching the graphic for the second episode of Late Night with Big and Wow. If you like this podcast, leave a like on the episode. You can listen to our playlist on YouTube and subscribe to our Patreon with the link in the description. You can follow us also on our individual platforms. And other than that, we will see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.